know, one of the things that we have seen over the years with politicians, so to speak, is poor representation. I mean, it goes without saying, that's one of the things that people do not trust politicians. They say things, they don't do it. They do things sometimes without saying it or consultation with persons. And therefore, I just said enough is enough. My constituency has been devoid of real development. I mean, you pre-2017, just walk around and you see it. I mean, place is dirty, the infrastructure is broken down. I was just sick and tired of it. And because I know who I am, and my constituents know also who I am, I decided that enough is enough. And therefore, I decided at that time that I'm going to put myself in the ring in order to be the representative for my home, my community. And it so happens that the Jamaica Labour Party, the views and the way of life, you can say, of the Jamaica Labour Party fits well with me. And therefore, I decided that the Jamaica Labour Party is the best route to choose in order to make this meaningful contribution and meaningful change to my home, which is in Southeast St. Mary. You know, that's a great question, because that's one of the things that prevents many Jamaicans who really have a passion for their country, and it's the ugly side of politics. And it is the ugly side of politics that we need to get rid of. I remember when I was campaigning and something came up in the campaign, and I called the Honorable Prime Minister. He was the opposition leader at the time. And I said, you know, I'm not interested in this thing anymore. And he said, and it has stuck with me all the time, you have to develop almost a crocodile skin, a very thick skin, right? Because they're going to come at you. And then what allows me to weather all of that is my strong and abiding faith in God. I mean, let me tell you, I have some friends around me that sometimes I feel the lowest at points, and there comes a message from somebody that resonates with you, with what is happening, and you say, yes, and you go again. Because the moments are there. I mean, let me tell you, it is an eye-opener, but somebody has to do it. One of the things is that my journey is like most other poor people from the rural areas. I sold in the market with my mother. In a not to be market. My mother, my two sisters, we sold in that market every weekend. My sister, one sister would be on the side of the market, the other sister on the other side of the market, and I would walk with a small little, we call it a pail in those days, a little container that we had, what we call suck. Bag juice is affectionately known as now. I used to sell that every day on a weekend. Persons remember these things. You know, my friends around remember these things. Persons remember my mother selling the market, and therefore they know I'm not from it, as you would say. We're not Tapanaris people. We're simple, decent, humble, law-abiding, ambitious, and we just want the best for not just ourselves, but for those around us. My mother would share the little that she had. I've never heard my mother curse, not even once, in my entire life. Yeah, Admiral Bailey, you think some done but just come? That song. Yeah, I have always loved that song. I think that song's best described. But you know, people like to say, boy, you know, my name is Dunn. Why you done already? Well, I said, no, I think some done but just come. One of the things you always hear people would say is that young boys develop a little slower than young girls. And I have experienced that firsthand, because when I was growing up, my sister was a year younger than I am, could pass everything. I mean, she passed common entrance exam on her first go. And I was not able to pass common entrance on my first go. I failed on the first go, and then I sat it again, and guess what, I failed again. And then, you know, the stark reality of life hit me, because All my sisters went off to high school now, and here I am still in an all-age school. And luckily, we had a technical entrance exam at that point in time, and I was able to sit the technical entrance exam and pass the technical entrance exam. And they said the rest is history. I went on to high school and did very well in high school. Still couldn't afford to pay for the exams, and this is where I have the deepest love for teachers, because it was a teacher that paid for my exams. And I was able to pass those, and then went on to university, went to pharmacy school, of course, graduated with honors. Imagine this, a young boy that couldn't pass any exam at all. Went to University of West Indies, graduated with honors again at the University of West Indies. So, it is one of the life stories I like to tell people, that, when you have your young boys and your sons in particular, hold them close to you, without a doubt, hold them close to you, but show them all the love that you have, and to get them on that journey, because they may be a little slow, but once they hit the road, the heights is the greatest for them. Well, first thing, I'm going to take you sightseeing. So I'm going to take you to the market where I used to sell in. Right, so you can see that market is from 1896, I believe, the Metcalf market. So I'm going to take you there, and then I'm going to take you to the coastline that we have just repaired from Bottom Bay all the way to Top Bay, and you see how beautiful that coastline is. Then I'm going to take you to the river, right? I'm going to take you to the river, Pencar River in particular, right? Where we're going to catch janga, we're going to roast them, we're going to roast some breadfruit, and I'm going to show you where I used to hide the bananas. when we used to go to the river, we used to pick the bananas and hide them in the grass, right? So that on my next trip to the river, we would have ripe bananas to eat. Then, of course, after that, I'm going to take you down to Breda, which is a young guy that I grew up with. I'm going to cook you a nice conch soup, right, for you to have that. And, of course, you can have roast fish, because, we're right beside the coast, so we'll give some fish. And at the end of the day, we're going to kick back, we're going to go by the ball ground, we're going to watch some football, and you're going to drink our coconut water. So I'll give you some coconut water. You can chase it with whatever you feel like you want to go in it, but we're going to do some coconut water. And then, of course, if you want, we're going to get some chocolate tea. I'm going to drink some chocolate tea, and we're going to soothe you off for the day, and then we'll send it back home. Hi, this is Dr. Norman Dunn, Member of Parliament for Southeast St. Mary. In the upcoming general election, you have a choice, but the choice is clear. Norman Dunn. One who you'd have known, one you trust, one you'd have seen the work, one that everybody has agreed is a working member of Parliament. And in the next election, vote Norman Dunn, vote Jamaica Labour Party, choose Jamaica, vote JLP.